We are here once again with good friend of the program, Kissy Bear,
back.
Rudy Noorlander, Navy veteran, grandfather, and owner of Alpine Adventures.
Yes, sir.
In Big Sky. And most notably, I guess, at this point, you survived the attack by a grizzly bear last year.
Not many people can say that.
No.
All right. Are you sick of having surgeries yet?
No, I haven't had any since the last time. It's just
now it's just healing.
Healing. I got one more operation in April, and then they'll do the dental work after that operation's gone down.
And a great success that you've had recently is the ability to swallow food, liquid.
That hole's completely closed out, so I can actually start anything I can swallow. I can try and eat.
That's exciting.
It is
exciting.
Last
Things
night
taste different though for some reason. I don't know.
Because you still have your tongue, same old tongue.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is weird.
Yeah,
because it's a nerve thing.
It's your arm.
Yeah, it's the arm that's there. It's like this isn't right. I got hair going in there.
I can taste my arm. Yeah. Speaking of food stuff, sorry.
Into the mic, Michelle.
I am preparing our dinner this evening, so I'm multitasking. I was out, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep mashing potatoes and chopping things while we chat, which is fun. I mean, Rudy's family at this point, so I can prepare anything in front of you.
We had talked about the possibility that Cole Hauser might play you in a movie about your experience. You have a little Cole Hauser story of your own now.
That was like saying in the hospital that I would like him to play the new year came out, and he had a little special going at Downgrade Liquor and store, and he was there taking photographs with people, and
because he's put out his own whiskey,
his own bourbon.
Which
What's the name of his
have you tried it?
I don't drink. I quit drinking in the Navy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smart.
So
I've actually heard good things.
39 years sober.
You should try it.
About Cole's bourbon. Not interested. Too much of a commitment.
But yeah, he actually recognized me, and it's like, "You're the Dare guy." And I said, "Yeah, I am." And he's like, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing good." He's like, "You're still getting out there?" I said, "I was out there today."
Yeah.
And he said, "I heard you wanted me to play in the movie." I said, "Yeah, you're tall enough. They just have to work on the gray hairs."
Yep.
That's so great. Well, congratulations.
He probably dyes his hair at this point, you know.
It sounds like the audition process is over. We don't need to consider Benicio del Toro or Liam Neeson. We're sold on Cole Hauser.
He's a good pick.
All right. I think so too.
I'm strong, handsome, go-getter.
Embodies all the things that Rudy Noorlander.
He just needs more gray hair. He could be my brother.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we can understand what you're saying without an interpreter, I would love it if you would walk us through the day in question and what happened with the bear. If you're comfortable telling the story, you haven't told it before.
Well, I'm comfortable, and the story's out there. You know, I was trying to save the story because I want to do duck.
Yeah.
But somebody brought up a really good point the other day. They said, well, the story's out there. It's on YouTube, it's on videos, it's on the news. And a lot of it's not right. So it's like, that's why I set up this appointment with you guys, because it's like, okay, let's get the story right out there.
Yeah.
You were there. I feel like you have the best.
Yeah, I don't have the whole story. I'm missing a little chunk. But I got 99% of it.
But for the most part, you were conscious throughout.
As far as I know, I was conscious throughout. I just don't remember from one point of the attack to the other.
Okay.
Wow.
So I remember parts, but not all of it.
All right. You want to start at the top?
So I rented some side-by-sides to a father-son. And they were camped up on the mountain for the first week of low season. So they were up there for hunting season.
Yep.
And they had a problem with the side-by-side, and they had rented two the first weekend because he had another son out there with him. He was only 10. So just think what would have happened that first weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. that, so I shot some side-by-sides, and he's like, well, my son shot a nice duck, and we lost the trail. I said, well, I used to be a guide like that in my younger days. I said, I was a pretty darn good tracker. And he's like, would you? I said, yeah, as soon as I can, I'll hit up the trail tomorrow, and we'll see if we can find it. And since they were canceled on the trail, it's like I just texted and said, I'm on my way up the trail. Once I got to the side-by-side, I texted him and said, I'm here. And he had texted me a 10 drop. But I'm not real tech savvy, so I don't have apps on my phone that I could just punch in and lead me right to there.
Yeah.
Right.
Then I could tell that the 10 drop was north of Black Ridge Trail and west of the Old Mule Trail.
Right.
So I hiked down the Old Mule Trail, waiting for his response.
Mm-hmm. And this is out by the corral, right? And
south of Big Sky.
And that area is very sketchy as far as cell service goes.
You get cell service probably 3/4 of the trail.
Okay.
Yeah. It's better than all the other trails in the area.
Yeah.
It gets worse.
But, yeah. So I'm headed down the trail. I finally get a text from him and said, well, you're better off to go down the ridge line than down the trail because then you don't have to hike the cliff. It's like, crap. I'm already past the cliff.
Oh, no.
So I know there's 2 cliffs on that ridge line.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started heading up through the trees. And I no sooner started up through the trees, and I jumped a really small deer, probably his first year out on his own. And he took off like a shot. It's like I barely caught a glimpse of him because he was gone so quickly.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw him, I pulled out my pistol.
Yeah.
And
because you're on guard.
I'm alert. Yeah.
Right.
Now.
Small bear, still a bear.
And I then shadowed like grizzly bears before and black bears and my first bear encounter was when I was 10. I had a lot, so I got decent experience with bears.
Yeah.
But from that point, my head was on a swivel. I was looking all around me all the time, and the gun was in my hand.
Yeah.
And I hiked up the ridge.
And this is your father's pistol, right?
Yeah, it was his laser revolver.
Okay.
Yeah. But I hiked up the ridge and over to the next ridge, and I could hear some crows. So I headed over to that area. And then I hiked down that ridge and ended up right back where I jumped the first there. And I got a text from George, and he said, yeah, the 10 is where we shot the duck, and we left our backpacks up there.
Okay.
So I hiked back up the ridge and found their backpacks, and I texted him and said, I got the backpacks. And he's like, just stay there, I'll send my son. We're only 5 minutes away. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, I got a drink of Gatorade, had a piece of jerky, and I thought to myself, I should spin the cylinder on my gun because I always leave a dead bullet where it's going to fire next for safety reasons.
Spin past the dead bullet.
And so I spun it, but we all know now that I spun it back to the dead bullet.
Okay.
So Hayes took me to where his dad was, and they were actually on a hillside that I had just hiked past because they were looking at the same crows I was following. And he's glassing, trying to figure out where the crows are landing, but it's too thick a jungle that we couldn't see where they were actually landing. Mm-hmm. So we kind of said, okay, well, it kind of slid up that keep each other in sight. So we're about 30 feet apart. I was on the uphill side, George is in the middle, and Hayes is on the bottom. And we're hiking down, just headed towards the crows where they congregated. And I stepped over a log. I looked over to see where George was, and there the bear was, from here to that pillar.
Okay.
10 feet away.
Yeah.
I would have upset myself at that point.
And all I had time to do, I raised my pistol and fired.
It was an empty chamber.
It was an empty chamber. So it misfired, and it's like, I was sure if you had the camera on me right there, I probably did one of my famous eye rolls.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
That he was on me. I noticed that his nose was as big as my fist.
And because it closed on you super fast.
And it was silent. It was like there was deadfall between him and me and like 3 or 4 trees. Mm-hmm. And I didn't hear him hit the ground. It's like I saw his face and he was there.
Yeah.
And I got a hole here and a hole there from 2 teeth marks. And I assume that's when I tried to punch you in the nose.
He might not have liked.
And I hope he didn't. I hope it hurt like hell.
Right.
But,
how terrifying in that moment. And I know you had bear spray on you, but it was not within reach. All you had was that pistol in your hand.
It was in reach. It was right from my
But you just didn't have time.
The only reason I didn't have time to get a shot, if my gun would have been in the holster,
you wouldn't have had time for that.
I would have probably got it out and that to here, and he would have been on me.
It was so fast.
It was that fast. It
did
was
you,
only like
did
3
you
seconds.
Scream? Did you do anything? Or did you not even have time to react, really?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after I swung at him, he grabbed me by the jaw, took me up off the ground by my jaw, and I could see George heading my way. I was kind of in the Christ-like position. I said, "Help me." And then the bear bit down harder and bit through my jaw, and I could just feel the bones crunch.
Oh.
And after that, I don't remember the next few seconds. That I'm assuming he bit through my jaw, and that released me, and I fell to the ground.
Yeah.
And then he stepped, from the wounds, he stepped on my chest. He didn't really claw it, because some of the stories said he ripped my chest open and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I do have a scratch on my chest, and it goes across to about there.
Yeah.
But he was heavy enough that he collapsed my lung just by standing on me with one paw. And then he bit my leg on the right side.
And you're on your back at this point, or are you?
I don't remember after he crushed my jaw.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything from that point until I saw him running away from me.
Got it.
There was just that big hairy duck going into the woods.
That bastard, you know?
And I don't even remember if I had my gun in my hand or not. I must have still.
Yeah.
Because George got my gun from me and fired it towards where the bear took off from. And George had a gun that he was afraid to fire it the whole time because
didn't want to hit you.
The bear was shaking me around and whatever.
Right.
And the bear, by all accounts, is enormous, right? This is a
well, I didn't take out a tape measure and have him get on a scale.
His nose was as big as his fist. That's all we need to hear.
That's got to be pretty big. This is not a small man.
And I'm 6'2", and he picked me up off the ground. So you think about it, he was over me like this.
Yeah.
Holding me up. So he had to be at least 2 feet taller than me.
Yeah.
He's probably the second biggest bear I ever seen.
Okay.
And the only bear that could bring you down, Rudy, I feel. You know?
Couldn't even do that.
I know. Well, take your jaw at least.
Yeah, we didn't have a referee to do the count. So I don't know who did me or not.
You were on the losing end of that particular encounter.
I was.
Yeah. So you watched it run into the woods.
Yeah.
And now did you go into shock at any point, you think?
I didn't lose consciousness.
Yeah.
There was points, and when I met the lifelike guys, I told them, I was getting weaker, and I knew I was getting weaker because the only way I could be comfortable and breathe was lying on my stomach with my elbows underneath me to keep my head out of the dirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at one point, the person on 911 told George to wrap something around my face, and it clogged my airways, so we couldn't do that. But I know at one point it's like I told my backpack to put under my head so I could rest my head on it.
Okay, just so you're not
totally
supporting yourself.
I was getting weaker and weaker because at first I was just leaning up against a tree, and
you're losing a lot of blood.
And I could tell I was losing more blood out of my legs than I was out of my jaw.
Yeah. Did it hit an artery in your leg?
I don't think it hit an artery because 2 hours I would have then bled out.
That would have been gone. Yeah.
Yeah. that he came close
2 hours.
and maybe
Right.
nicked that artery because, like I said,
Lost a lot.
I could tell I was losing a lot of blood out of my legs.
And is your jaw still attached at that point?
No,
jaw's gone.
I would look like the original picture in from the hospital. It's like a cut
Just a
here and a
hole.
cut there, and
Yeah.
just slides the
Right.
skin down
Like
there.
a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut smarter.
And
But I couldn't talk either, so you'd have to talk hardy.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to.
Okay.
The fact that this all happened where you could make a 911 call, do you think that kind of saved your life? I mean, if you had not been able to call out, then you're waiting too long, right? Do you bleed out, you think?
From my understanding, you're supposed to be able to call 911 even if you don't have service.
Using the satellite.
But
Okay.
If you dial
Yeah.
911, it's still supposed to go through to 911.
Supposed to. I don't
So
know if that's the time you want to test it.
I didn't want to test it. That
No,
point.
no.
I'm glad we had service at that point.
Right. Yeah. Because when we're on the river, sometimes we have that thing where it says
It
satellite.
just
service
says satellite.
only. So maybe that's the 911. Yeah. And
do you
as
trust
an
it?
EMT,
And that's why on your phone you got an emergency call button only on there, I think.
Okay.
So you can just do that and it connects you. I don't know.
I hope you're right.
I'm not going to try and test it, I hope.
So you had life flight, you had search and rescue, and sheriffs all out helping you. What was the
On their
timeline?
way.
How long did it take from when you were bitten to when you were air backed out?
From the point of him calling 911 till the point I got to the Lawson Hospital was about 2 hours.
Okay.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's such a long
that's
time.
a long time to wait. I know. And then you went from Bozeman, was it to Billings after that, or did you
No,
go straight to Salt Lake? Okay.
So our first stop was the Yellowstone Club,
Okay.
which was another story because, and I told the life flight people, it's like, I was kind of fading and getting weaker, and then I heard the helicopter arrive. And they so much wanted to land right then and there. They were told they couldn't. And as soon as the second helicopter got there, they went to the Yellowstone Club because that's where the closest trauma nurse was.
Yeah.
And got ready for me to get there.
Okay.
And the search and rescue guys came. That kind of hurt me again when I saw and heard them land.
Yeah.
And I saw dudes on the ground coming towards me. Then it's like, okay.
Thank God.
I might make it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because, they're asking me if I'm okay and do I know my name? Do I know where I'm at? And I was just like, yeah, I can't say anything that sounds out all the time. And once they got me in the basket, I was thinking, they were going to shove me in the helicopter and I'd fly to the Yellowstone Club. But no, that picture you see on the news where the helicopters got their rope down, that's me flying through the air to the Yellowstone Club.
You were just dangling from the helicopter?
So yeah, it was wind and swinging.
How did you feel in that moment?
I was really puzzled, and there was a guy hanging next to me, still asking, "Are you doing okay?" Yeah, I'm doing okay. How are you?
Well, how was he just tethered to you somehow?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just don't get too close to the ground because I'm worried that bear is going to come back and take a swipe
Exactly.
at
I
you.
know.
Was this
And below
seeing
these
the
two
helicopter and snacking with
Yeah.
the cage?
Hey, you're like a bear toy.
guys- quickly.
at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Where we left you in the story, you're dangling from the helicopter on your way to the YC urgent care, basically.
Their helicopter had.
And is that where they were to stabilize you? Is that
Yeah.
the reason that you
Yeah.
went there first?
Yeah.
I've never been to that urgent care. Is it
I
super
haven't
tiny?
either.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
That iron, they were landing and people all around me, and they were cutting my pants off my leg to get to the night narc. And I'm in my pocket trying to get my truck keys out. And then the drugs must have hit me because I don't remember anything after
That's
that.
where
It
it
was
goes
a good time.
So, yeah,
black.
I don't remember anything from that point till I woke up in the ICU in Salt Lake.
in Salt Lake City.
Really?
Yeah.
So you bypassed your Bozeman trip.
I bypassed the tracheotomy, the chest tube, everything
Wow.
they did in Bozeman. Yeah.
Do you know what they gave you?
No.
Huh.
I had no
They
idea.
Something
roofied him.
good.
They roofied him.
Something
you know?
that worked.
I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just loss of blood and
Yeah.
the feeling that I'm safe now. I don't know that it's like, okay, I can go to sleep now.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge trauma. And then when you woke up in Salt Lake, what was the first thing that you remember? Like, was someone there that you know, or did you see a doctor or a nurse that was? Were you surprised to be alive in that moment?
No.
You were like, oh, of course I'm here.
Where's
my jaw?
Yeah, I just didn't know how bad it was.
Yeah.
I remember the nurse asking me if I wanted to see, if she had in there. She's like, you want to see? And I was like, no.
You could feel that it was really bad.
I knew it was bad.
Yeah.
Because when I was laying in the ground watching the helicopter, I could see parts of my skin hanging down, the blood dripping from it.
Right. It's kind of like after I had kids, I didn't want to look down there for months, you know?
I don't need to see that mess.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll wait till it's healed, you know?
In a way, we had 2 bears for sons. They've done their damage.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's in your journey since then. You've had how many surgeries?
Not really sure, because
Feels
in the
like
ICU, I don't know how many surgeries I had before I got out of the ICU.
Yeah.
That I had the one after I got out of the ICU that they redid the jaw, and that was a 12-hour surgery.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big nap right there.
Big nap, hard day.
Yeah. And how do you feel?
The sad thing is the next day I got a flu bug or something, and I ended up puking like every hour.
Oh my God.
For like 24 hours.
How's that even possible?
It wasn't very fun.
No.
And it's like I couldn't throw up nuts, so it's like a teaspoon tall, a tablespoon tall.
Yeah. Really putting that new jaw through its paces.
It was.
You gotta.
It was trying to open my throat. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
But I remember one of the nurses in the ICU that she brought a little swab and said, "Would you like me to swab your tongue?" I said, "Yes, please." And that was like heaven, because my tongue was like sandpaper most of my time in the hospital because I couldn't swallow. And after I got out of the ICU, that stopped for a couple of weeks before I got approval to do that again.
Right. Well, and then the flavor swabs came.
Then the flavor swabs came, and I kind of overdid it because I wasn't supposed to swallow that.
Right.
The way I saw it, it's like they told me to keep swallowing to practice swallowing, and it's like, well, if I can swallow spit, why can't I swallow lemonade?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she explained it to me very simply. Your saliva is okay in your lungs. You'll just absorb it. Anything else, it will not.
Right.
So,
You're a risk taker in life, and that was the only place you could do it in that moment. I think lemonade aspiration.
You've probably had enough lemonade in your life that your saliva's got a little bit of lemonade in it. So maybe
I hope so.
Maybe your lungs have gotten used to it.
Yeah.
It would have killed me not to be able to like brush my teeth. It must have been forever. Right before you could. You still can't brush your teeth?
No, my granddaughter asked me why I had kitty toothbrushes in my bathroom. I said, well, I bought them because the adult toothbrushes are too big. I can't.
There's just not space to get it in.
I don't have enough space in the back. I could do the front.
So you can do little Elmo toothbrushes.
I've been doing it with the sponges that I swabbed with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll put toothpaste on that.
So will the next surgery help with that?
I hope so. I don't know if, my jaw just doesn't have the
mechanics
flexibility to open as wide as my mouth used to open.
Right.
Which might be a good thing.
Yeah. Jawing at people, really. Well, Okay, so the next surgery is going to be, you said your dental, or is that the third?
No,
surgery?
they'll take another skin graft off this other arm.
Oh, okay.
And tighten up my bottom lip so it's not open all the time, so I'm not slobbering all the time, hopefully.
Okay.
Did you ask for like real full like Kardashian lips, or are you going with like
I don't think they're doing lips because they asked me if I wanted them to tattoo it on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said no, because then my daughter will want me to get more tattoos.
Yeah,
like, no.
yeah. Let's get a snake across there. I don't know. We could go crazy.
Snake tongue,
something tribal. Yeah, that makes sense. I like you got a little goatee action happening.
Well, I shaved today so I could look younger.
Oh, nice. Well, you do.
And it's a challenge because those crevices really.
You got some ridges.
Yeah. It seems like you don't have as much salt in that hair there. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of that action on my beard.
That's what happens when you get your arm hair.
Get my arm.
Yeah.
I need more arm skin on my face. That's what...
Just rub it in the shower. Then it'll run off.
Sounds great.
A couple more questions. Thank you for the shout out to the letter and the editor that you wrote to explore Big Sky. What prompted you to write that?
I've been having a hard time getting a hold of anybody that was responsible for getting me out of there. I stopped in the sheriff's office in Big Sky twice, and they haven't called me back.
They're busy.
And and they're few and far in between. So.
Yeah.
They're not about the credit, right? They're about doing the job.
And they both, we're glad you're alive. We're glad you're doing well. And whatever. The guy in charge hasn't called me back. So it's like, well, I really want to publicly thank those people and thank everybody for the support. So I knew and it actually, the idea came from me because I got one of the local papers. And I was in one of their top 10 stories for 2023.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I want to thank them for putting that in there and whatever, and thank the community for their support, and thank the search and rescue people, and mention that, I'd like to get them all together to meet them all and thank them all in person. I'd even recognize a voice or two,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's great.
Because those people saved your life.
Yeah, a lot of hands went into getting you out of that dangerous situation.
A lot of hands.
And into a controlled situation. So it was well done, and I'm glad you did that. Hopefully everybody got to see that. How is business?
Yeah, it's a weird season all around. Yeah.
It is. It's slow for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
even the restaurants, they're like,
yeah.
But you're up and running, right?
I'm up and running.
If people want to take tours, they can sign up for them right now.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
He's not afraid of anything at this point. I mean, honestly.
Actually, I'm taking my gun. I saw on Facebook that some of the theirs are coming out of Higher Nation because it's so warm.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I forgot to send you that article.
I didn't see that.
I had some people ask me, we're going to have problems with theirs because I've been telling them, kind of forewarning them that, I was attacked by a bear and whatever. And they're like, are we going to have problems with theirs? It's like, they should be hibernating. And then I see that article saying that some of them are coming out of hibernation because it's so warm.
Yeah. It's May. It feels like May right now.
But I thought I knew their gun, so I didn't packing it.
All right. Good. Well, if you want to meet the man, the myth, the legend, Rudy Kissy Bear Noorlander, you need to look no further than Alpine Adventures and set up a tour with them, and you never know what might happen.
And you can go home and say you rode with their guy.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you can take a picture just to prove it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's totally a crazy backstory.
Don't let Cole Hauser be the only lucky son of a gun who's got a picture with Rudy.
I had looked to see if he posted that or not.
Yeah, we'll have to check out his social media and see what happens.
That's right.
But yeah, we appreciate you telling the full story, the right story, so people can kind of know what happened.
2 different dares, long time between. And I've been thinking about it, the little dare took off like a shot because I guarantee it when the big bear wasn't around his food cache, the little bear was sneaking in eating. And that was another reason why the big bear was so defensive, because I guarantee it he's chased that little bear off more than once.
So it's not a mama bear cub situation.
So it's not a mama bear cub like they said.
Yeah.
It was a big male bear. It wasn't a little bear.
And a juvenile.
And the little bear was probably his first year or second year out on his own. Oh, man. Yeah.
All right. Well,
if you want to, the nicer one.
If you want to watch the story unfold, you're gonna have to wait until the movie is made.
Right.
But thank you for recounting it for us today.
I think I could have took the little one.
Thank you for helping me with my dinner prep.
That's right. And now I've got to look forward to shepherd's pie for dinner. So, all right. Thanks very much, Rudy.
You bet.
We appreciate your time today.
Yep.